early in December, a good friend of mine texted me and said that her husband had gotten four tickets to see Genesis, aka Phil Collins, at a brand new arena that just opened on Long Island recently called UBS Stadium or Arena. I'd never been there. It's a new, like, big venue for sports and concerts and stuff. Anyway, her husband got not just tickets, but where he works, they had what do you call it, like a suite. So he had 4 tickets in the suite. And what that is, it's basically like almost like it's a room. Like, you walk into this room and they have like a sink, a refrigerator, a couple of tables, really, really nice. And there was like some, finger food in there and some soda, and they had like your own waitress who would take drink orders and, extra food orders. Then, as you walk to the back of the room, that's where the seats are. And they're set up like in a staircase kind of way, like you got like 4 seats, and then below it 4 seats, and below it 4 seats, and below it 4 seats. I think that was it. And we had the first row of it, which is actually way above the stage, so you're looking down at the stage and down at all the people. But anyway, so she asked me if I wanted comes out on stage in a chair, not like a regular wheelchair, but like almost what seemed like a rolly office chair with like a place for your hands. He no longer plays the drums, which was his big thing. And now his son plays the drums. Excellent. And he's got like some of his original band members and everything. He just looked like, I can't believe that he keeps on having concerts, and I am super impressed with that. Like, that is fabulous. Fabulous. But I felt so badly for him. Like, I heard that for a while when he was still playing the drums, he had to tape the drumsticks to his arms in order to keep them in place because his condition was so bad. But anyway, the concert got going. They had some nice like video stuff in the background, you know. But other than that, it wasn't like much of a, you know, show. Like some, you know, how some of them do a lot of dancing and stuff. Absolutely none of that. And at one point, he even just disappeared from the stage. I was like, where is he? Where did he go? And one of the women I was with was like, didn't you see they just rolled him off? And like, they just played instrumental part of that song, and then they rolled him back on after a couple minutes, and he sang the non-instrumental part of the song. It's like they stretched out the instrumental part for like more minutes than normal. But anyway, I hand it to him, I really do. But it wasn't the greatest concert, I have to be honest, because I was shocked. I didn't know like half of the songs. I don't know what they chose, but it was like just weird to me since there are so many hits, like seriously. So anyway, that is the story. Okay. And by the way, I don't go to a lot of concerts, believe me. No, not at all. Not, you know, when I was younger, I went to like a, you know, normal amount, but now I haven't been to like a rock concert in ages. Before this one. Okay. That's the end of that story. Let me look at my list of stories. Not that I have that many. Okay. Here's one. Okay, now this is another. I am not trying to make this into anything political whatsoever. Okay. No. Alright. So, it was a couple days before New Year's Eve, and my son was going to be having over 3 friends, and on New Year's Day we were going to be going over to visit my in-laws, who are very up in age, okay? And I got a sore throat, and I wasn't feeling too great, and it was like, I'm going to say it was the Wednesday. I think New Year's Eve was to be Friday. Okay, so it was Wednesday. And I'm like, geez, what am I gonna do? Like, I need to find out what this is, right? And all of the urgent cares in my neighborhood have been mobbed, okay? Mobbed with people getting tests, especially since it's the holiday. People needed it, like, in writing, so that they could, I don't know, get on an airplane or whatever. So I knew there was no way I was going to one of those places. You had to stand in line outside, wrapped around like the building, just to register. You know, not even to get the test. I'm like, I can't do that. Every store was sold out of home tests. Like, you can't believe it. Seriously, every store. And I just so happened to be, you know, looking online, and I saw that in our county they had decided that the next day, Thursday, they were going to begin that one day from 10 to 2. So I'm thinking, oh, let me go do that. That makes sense. And it was gonna open at 10, so I'm thinking, alright, let me leave my house at 9. I'll be a little early. Alright, now, I live in a highly populated county, okay? And it's not far from the next county. And it's not far from the city. And there are no home tests to be found anywhere. It is not about the fact that it's free. Not for anyone. So, I leave my house at 9. I head over there. It's like a 20-minute drive or so. And it's all fine and dandy until, boom, I see on my little, GPS that, I have 1.4 miles till I get there. I'm on the road. And it's a road where there are 3 lanes. And then like a little median thing, and then 2 more lanes that are merging into it up above, okay? It's not even a highway, it's just like a major road. 1.4 miles, and it's now a parking lot. Like, turn off your car and sit kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, I see a couple of cars turning around and leaving. And I'm like, these people are all going for the same thing, and we're 1.4 miles away. And it was like now, like 9:40, let's say. And I'm like literally petrified. Like, am I gonna sit here stuck like this for the whole day? Like, what is going to be happening here? And they only had 20,000 tests. I was like, this is the biggest mistake I ever made. Well, one of them. So, I'm looking at that median thing with the grass, and it kind of goes in the middle. I'm thinking, should I drive into that thing and try to get out of here? Like, no. I don't want to wreck my car, and I don't want to get a massive ticket. But this is ridiculous. And the thing hadn't even opened yet, because it doesn't open till 10. So, eventually, I guess, when they opened, I was able to just I was in the lane next to the grass, okay? And it was coming to like a little end, not too far. So I got that far, to the end of the grass thing, and I went across somehow and got out of there. And I went as far in the other direction from this mess as I could, passing by this, massive traffic of people heading there, from other roads and what have you. Got the hell out of there. Test or no test? No way. Then I went home and I was watching like people posting on Twitter like what it looked like, the traffic and this and that. People had gone there at 5 a.m. to wait for it. 5 a.m. Desperation. Oh my god. Now, before anyone says it, it's not because people want to know if they have it. Like, you don't need a test to tell you if you are sick, right? It's about protecting other people from it. So you need to know what it is, just for that reason entirely. Oh my gosh, nightmare. So lo and behold, I came home, I sat on my computer, I spent a while looking at every store, calling up every place, but finally, I found one at a ShopRite with no pharmacy. That's probably why they had them. Because you wouldn't expect a supermarket that doesn't have a pharmacy to have any. Well, they had a couple up at customer service, and it was like another like 20 minutes away from me, but not anywhere near that other mess. And I went and got one. End of the story. It was negative. Okay. I learned something that day. I'm not sure what, but something. I sure did. Me and lots of people probably learned something. Like, if there's something going on for just one day between 10 and 2, this guy hit her from the rear, okay, at the red light, because he didn't stop. No, she was okay, alright. But the entire back of the car got smashed, you know what I'm saying? Which is like a big deal, because it took like the, the trunk, the lights, it went into a little bit of the sides, like above the, tires. And she doesn't know how to deal with this kind of thing. She's 19, so she calls, luckily, smart enough to call my husband, not me. Because that is not my thing, and she calls him and says he better come out there and meet her at the scene, because she doesn't know what to do. And the other driver had called the police, because you gotta get a police report. But she's hysterical, so he has to go there and meet her. It was like maybe 15 minutes away. That means the car was still drivable. Finally, the police came. It took like an hour. And, we called our insurance company, and clearly, like, it's not her fault, It doesn't matter, though. They have no fault insurance here. And our rates are gonna go up from this, which is crazy. But we brought it to an auto body shop, and they got us a loaner car. And so that was, I don't know the date, but figure like the end, close to the end of November. We don't have the car back yet, okay? We're still driving this loaner. And mostly I have to drive the loaner, and the kids are driving my car because they don't want to drive the loaner. But I don't want to drive the loaner either, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's not my car. And we've called the auto body place so many times, and they keep saying that the parts are like back ordered and they can't get them. They're waiting, and it's like not just us, but it's everybody. And once they get the parts, it's going to be 2 weeks to fix it, and I think it's going to be done in a few days, luckily. But do the math, And wait for this. Guess, I'll give you a moment to guess how much it's gonna cost, even though we're not paying for it. Go ahead. Did you guess yet? $13,000. Hello. $13,000 for what the heck? That is ridiculous. I am talking about a Nissan, a small Nissan. Granted, it's, newish, but